Well, good morning everybody and welcome to Module 1 of the Digital Ready program. Now you will notice throughout the morning I walk around a lot and I talk a lot with my hands because that's just the way I am. But if at any point you have a question, please do not hesitate to stop me mid-stride, but just remind me where I was at because I might forget. So we're going to have lots of fun today. I love this workshop. And I'm going to show you a few things too that will hopefully get you guys thinking into the next space for your website and so forth, and little things that you can do to actually help your website perform better. And we hopefully will give all the answers that you need today and more. Okay? So today's workshop is about web basics. And I love my little gadgets, as you can find out. I love gadgets. So what we'll be talking about today, these few key things. So we're going to be talking about website usability. So in other words, what's your consumer experiencing when they're there on your website? What are they seeing? What are they feeling? Okay, and that's really important, so we'll discuss that. The design of your website. So how does it look? Okay, so does it have a look and feel that's very inviting, showing emotions? We're going to talk about content management systems, really important part of your website design and setup. Okay, and obviously, anything along the way, if I am going a little bit over your head, please stop me and ask me as well. If there's any acronyms or anything like that, I generally try and bring it right down to basics level, so please stop me if I have gone a little bit further than normal. We're going to talk about some basic search engine optimization techniques, just some ground level things to help you going. The ATDW, but I think most of you in this room are a member of ATDW. Is there anyone who's not? Okay, we'll come to that. That's not a problem. And then we'll talk about measurement and analytics of your website, because that is very important to see what traffic is actually coming and what you're going to do with that information as you go down the line. Okay, so what you're going to get out of this today is you're going to understand some of the key things about your user experience when they come to your website. And this is hopefully what we're going to achieve today. We're also going to talk about how to join the ATDW, so this will be perfect for yourself. We're going to talk about search engine optimization and why all of this information is so important to your overall website strategy and your online marketing strategy. It's actually quite a key point, okay? So you don't want your website to look like this. This is pretty ugly. Now I'm hoping that nobody has a website like this, which I'm sure you don't, because I did have a quick check of some of you, and you don't have a website that looks like this. So we're going to talk about how to not have this happen for you, okay? So why are you here? Because when you think about it, more people are going to come to your website than you're going to get a phone call. So what we want to do is those people who travel to your website, they've gone there for a reason. They have come to your product for a reason, okay? So what we want to do is we want to grab them, we want to keep them, and then we want to convert them, okay? So in other words, we want their money. So this is what we're going to talk about today, and that's the prime aspect, that you're going to have more people to your site than a phone call. Now that's pretty big. So you may not get any phone calls in one day, but you might get 100 hits to your website. But are those 100 hits converting? Okay. We're also going to talk about how much the requirements of your website match your ideal customer or to your target market. So we're going to talk about all this today. So first of all, your content. You need to have text that's easy to read and supports scanning. If you've ever gone to a website, do you ever actually just sit there initially and read every word, word for word? You scan. So it's normal consumer behaviour. That's what they do when they go to a website. They like to scan. And if something grabs their attention, then they'll start reading. Okay, so we need to make sure that your content does the same thing. We're going to talk about, we're going to use things like bullet points. Lots of links. You could do headings, you can do bolding, you can do italicising, underlining, anything like that that grabs their attention will make it a lot easier for you, okay? We're going to have pictures. Pictures are fantastic. Pictures. Have pictures that show emotion about your product. I was talking before to, sorry, I missed your name, Sonia from Skydive Ramblers. She's just got a brand new facility for her business. Oh, the pictures that these guys could have would be unbelievable. You'd have people doing their free diving, their full diving. I have no idea about skydiving, I'm just guessing words here. but the visuals that she can have on her site, and straight away that's going to increase emotion, because I'm going to see someone who's going to be skydiving, and I'm going, oh, I really want to try that. Do I have the guts to try it or not? So this is the thing. So when you've got a product that's got great opportunities for photos, you should be using it, and I'm sure they are. Anybody else, even in the accommodation side, touring side, any sector whatsoever, the attractions, your photos are your key to your website, because they're going to express. They're going to show me what you're made of. They're going to show me what your product can do for me as a consumer. So the more of these that you can have, the better. Now the key thing with images, obviously that they're nice and clear. They're easy to see what I'm actually going to do at your place of business. So for starters, I know if I go to Skydive Ramblers, I'm going to get into a parachute suit and I'm going to jump out of a plane. Oh, sorry?
You don't need a special suit.
I don't need a special suit? See, I don't know. I'm just assuming. But photos, they're the things, they're the key. Now the other things with photos, what we need to do is make sure, and I may be jumping ahead a little bit here, but I might as well discuss it now, is on your website with your photos, you know when you hover over a photo and you usually get a little box that tells you about that photo. How many of you have actually got those descriptions that hover when you do go over your photos, or that you know of? How many of you use your keywords in those descriptions? Ha ha, well done, fantastic. But this is what we need to do, because people also search by images, not just by websites. So if they come to an image of someone skydiving or someone in your room, in your accommodation place, and they can see, oh, what a gorgeous room, they hover over it and there's no information there. We need to increase that by having your information in there. So you might put 1-bedroom apartment at Oceans, Mooloolaba, or you might have beautiful 1-bedroom or something. So some sort of keywords to show what these images are about. So if someone comes and searches for Mooloolaba apartments or Mooloolaba 1-bedroom or anything like that, your images are going to come up in the rankings, and then they can click on it and it's going to come straight to your website. And that's where we need to make sure that we've got those connections happening as well. Videos. Oh, I love videos. If photos, videos, anything that shows someone experiencing what they're going to be able to do at your place of business, the better. Now video, you do not have to be a professional. We have the professionals here today because we want this to look good when it goes up onto our site. But you could simply have your iPhone out one day and you might have a customer that stayed with you or used your skydive or your hotel or your attraction, and you say, would you mind if I ask you to have a testimonial, and we'll tape it and we'll put it up on YouTube and have that on our website. How great would that be to have something like that? And someone saying, oh yes, come and stay at Oceans, or come and stay at the Aegean, come stay with us because this is what you're going to experience. You do not have to be a professional photographer or a professional videographer, it's a mouthful, to actually have these things up on YouTube and up on your site. It doesn't have to be like that. Sometimes, you know, something that's just sort of done off the cuff at the last minute looks great, you know, and you need to take that chance with your business. Celebrants, oh, you could have some fantastic videos there. You could have had some little wedding shots and things like that, and you can have that on your site. Great stuff, because videos are easy to watch. And people don't like to read, so they go and watch a video, or they'll go and look at images. So the more that you can show different ways so you can keep your people on your website, the better. So if they don't want to read it, they've got other options. If they do like to read, well then they won't watch your video, but that's fine. But you've given me the option as a consumer, and that's what we want, okay? So the more that you can do there, the better. And then we'll talk about customer reviews and testimonials, just like what I was saying. Grab some testimonials. If they're written, fantastic. Put them up in a little page of your website and say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith stayed with us in February, and this is their testimonial, or something like that. Or ask them to go to TripAdvisor. Ask them to go to your Facebook page and say, can you go and write something about us? Get that relationship happening. You've got to build these relationships, because what you want them to do is come back. So if you can increase that by getting some testimonials, your people will come back, plus you'll get some new people that you can convert as new customers. And that's exactly what we want to do. So, because now, as we all know, people don't always ring now to make a booking with you. You know, they'll go online first, because people like to do and have a bit of a research. They'll go and see what's going on. They'll play around a little bit. And what they want you to do is grab their attention, keep their attention, and then bring them back. And that's the whole point of your website, okay? So this part here, absolutely vital. Wherever I've been over to a few places now in Queensland delivering these workshops, and the Outback and the Gemfields, I just was out there just recently. Now they have a character out there. You guys have it too. We're the Sunshine Coast. I'm a bit biased because I live here. We are the Sunshine Coast. There is nowhere else in Queensland like us, okay? We have character. We have personality. Show it on your website. Bring that through so that people can see what they're going to feel and do and see when they get here. So that when they do get here, they go, oh, wonderful. Paula, Rhonda. Paula, sorry. Paula had this fantastic image or video on her site, and it looked great. And this is actually what I'm seeing when I get here. Or Oceans. You guys have got some beautiful rooms there at Oceans. Have the video in there, and people go, oh, I saw this video on your site. I love that video. So this is where you bring that character through. And gone is the day of having a video or a photo with no one in it, when it's just a room shot or it's just a bus shot or something. No, bring your people into it. Show them how much fun other people are actually having at the same time that I could as a consumer. So if you've got a tourer, Canoe Capers, I love Canoe Capers, just recently have put up their own YouTube channel. Woohoo! And you have to go and watch it. There's some great stuff on there. They actually did a summer pledge, which is actually really funny. No, you didn't win, but it was really good. But these guys have also got a great opportunity being a touring business, and they've got now their YouTube channel up, showing people experiencing their canoes up, the canoe trips up the Everglades and up the rivers and so forth. What better way to increase your business by giving someone the insight that they have and what they can experience. And they're also having a couple of testimonials, I noticed, up there as well. So great stuff. This is what we need to do. And it doesn't take, I know everybody in this room, we've all got busy days, busy lives, we've got families, we've got everything else happening in our life. But I can guarantee if you spend just a little bit of time taking some photos, taking some videos and looking after your website, you will get more traffic, your page rankings will increase. I can guarantee it. And it only takes a little bit of your time each week or every couple of weeks, okay? See, it's so exciting. Okay, so we've got here some examples of what are some content. This is a very basic example. So have a look at version 1, have a look at version 2. Which one's easier to read? 2. Because simply by putting in some subtitles and making it a little bit bold, a little bit of a different colour there as well, it's much easier. So straight away, when I come to version 2, I can say, okay, the overview, I know the overview is going to tell me. Then we're going to come into the Mashable awards. So in other words, what am I going to read about these awards? So very easy to read, okay? So we need to make sure that that's what's happening on your website as well. So think about the content, even on your front page. Is it a lot of words? Or is it all words and no bullet points, no headings, no bolding, no links or anything like that on your front page? Simply by doing just a little bit of rearranging, you can have that and a lot easier to read. Okay, so here we're talking about the red parts is the parts that people will look at and they will actually, in this case, are reading. So you'll see that they've actually come all the way down the bottom of the page before they're physically reading something. Because what's happening is, if you can have a look, it actually supports the scanning because we've got a couple of bullet points and we've got some bolding and things happening because it's easier to read. So they've come straight down to the part, straight away they've scanned and they've come across this part because it's easier. And that's, again, we need to promote that on your websites as well. This next one, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it. It's called the F pattern on websites designs. So when you think about it, try and look at your website as an F. So in this case, you can, in the second example, you can clearly see the F coming through. So what's happening is people are scanning and they look to the top of your page, they scan across. Then they'll come back down and they'll scan across, and then they'll keep scanning the page until they find what they're looking for. You probably do it yourself. and don't even realise it. But this is what's happening. So when you think about your website, what have you got along the top of your page? Is it the important stuff that we need to know? Do we have important issues or topics or anything like that about your website down this left-hand side so that people can see and scan and then come across what they need to see? So think about your website the whole time while we're doing this too, so you can go, oh no, my website doesn't look like that, or my website doesn't do that. So these are some of the things you could be writing down and saying, okay, I need to change this for when you go home tonight. Just give you some more work to do. Okay, so when you're looking at your building your website data as well, and it's just like a news article, like a magazine article. So you have your most important newsworthy information at the top. So it's a headline, it's something that's going to grab us and see what you're doing, okay? And then you come down and you have your supporting information against that, and then of course any related information. So think about how or what information you're going to portray to your consumer so you grab them in that first instance so that it supports that scanning again, okay? So this can do for any of your pages. It could be your home page, it could be your product pages, it could be a blog that you might have, or it could be like a gallery page, anything like that. Think about the layers that you've got within your website. And once you've got this in check, you'll find the rest of it will just fall in as well. Where Australia shines.